Congratulations, congratulations. You have made it to the last day. It is such an honor and a privilege to present day 7 of our training of Learn Cryptocurrency Basics in 7 days. You have really honored me by being by being in my training and allowing me to take you through this journey and allowing you to be your coach. So today we are wrapping up our 7 days. Let me share with you the special session that I have put together for you. And once again, congratulations for making it to today's session. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to share with you what I've put together for you as part of our last session. It has been such an honor, really, being with you for the rest of the week. So we have gone through training where we are learning cryptocurrency basics in 7 days. Today is our grand finale, and let me take you through it. I'm going to summarize what we have done in the last 7 days for you to take away with you. So the cryptocurrency summary is basic. Right, so we started talking about money. I think money is what got us all into this training in the first place. So I said, I can't talk about cryptocurrencies without telling you about the evolution of money. So we went through that. I spoke to you about where money started from. I said that money as we know it today has not always existed in the form that we know it, which means that it has been changing over time. Money is just a means of exchange, the means to exchange value. You know, we use money when you go to the shops because you're looking for something that you did not have, isn't it? You're looking for that thing that you don't have, but the retailers have that thing. And you use money and you give them money and they give you that particular thing. Over time, that has always been the case. We might not have had shops, but we had what we call the barter system. I took you through that, where people exchange value without having the middleman in the facilitating the transaction. What do I mean? For example, you would have a farmer who has got who farms maize, and what that one who's got cattle. And then if I had cattle, for example, and I wanted some mealies, what would I do? I would speak to the maize farmer, and then we will decide on what was fair. They would say, okay, Max, for 1 cow, I can give you, for example, a ton of mealies. We must agree and that transaction happens. As time went on, we saw that how that didn't work anymore as things changed and people became specialized in their trade. I used the example of a shoemaker, and a farmer. Now imagine that trade, right? Imagine the farmer said, oh, I need some shoes. The shoemaker says, oh, you can give me 10 tons of mealies for that. And the maize farmer said, no, I can only give you 5 kgs of mealies. And the transaction finally happens. Now, imagine a week later, the shoemaker needs more mealies now, but the maize farmer does not need any more shoes. Do you see that now this system is not working in that case? And then it evolves to accommodate that. Then we saw something where now communities would agree on an object or something that they saw valuable that they could use to facilitate the change. We saw sometimes how salt was used. Yes, at some point, salt was used as money. That's how valuable it was, right? Now, we also saw how cowrie shells were used. And then we see how that does not work anymore. Suddenly, you've got people out of your community coming in, wanting to exchange value with you. And now, for example, the Indians come with their spices. They come to East Africa and say, oh, we've got spices. And say, oh, I want to make my meat tasty. But you say, I'll give you some shells. And they say, we don't want shells because where we come from, we've got shells galore. So everybody can just get a shell. So then we saw gold coins being introduced. Suddenly those don't work anymore. Now they're bulky. Imagine you're a multi-millionaire, you have to be carrying these gold coins around. Doesn't work. So we saw banks coming in with paper notes and then saying that, okay, we'll keep your coins for you and give you this piece of paper. And later you can use that piece of paper to exchange value with other people. And so money evolved over time. Every time we saw different forms of money coming through, it was because they were being optimized for that particular point in time. Paper money evolved to what we see. I mean, those notes that we're giving for gold is the start of paper money as we know it today. Banks came into being, and at some point in the 70s, the gold that was backing the money was dropped as a standard. And now we've got these notes that are called fiat currency. Fiat currency is money owned by governments. Your rand, your dollar, your pound. Every government has got their own money that they have deemed as legal tender of the particular country. And we saw that this money is suddenly not working for people anymore. One of the biggest issues with the money is inflation. What do I mean by that? Money as we know today, it loses value over time. When I was growing up, 1 loaf of bread was about a rand. Today, you cannot get a loaf of bread for that much. I need 14 of those rands to get the same loaf of bread. Nothing more added, nothing taken away. Why? Because money has lost value over time. Fees that we pay at the banks, exorbitant. If I want to move also from one country to the next, I must go through Forex and all that. Now, that is where we started seeing that money is no longer working for us as we wanted to. And that is how cryptocurrencies were born. In 2009, the first one to be created was Bitcoin. Bitcoin came as a currency, a global currency, which means I can move countries without going through Forex. It's deflationary in character. We've seen the value of Bitcoin move from 140 at some point in 2010. And now it's sitting at about 400,000, but beginning of this year, it was 650,000 for one coin. So it is deflationary in character. That works for us because you want your money to be growing in value. And guess what? We also saw that early adopters of Bitcoin are now multimillionaires. We are here to talk about money, so you want to know how money was made. Okay, so then I introduced to you a new coin called Bitcoin Vault, because the idea is for you to have a cryptocurrency, a portfolio of cryptocurrencies. To start your journey where you say, I want to own a couple of cryptocurrencies as a way of me to make money. So I introduced to you a coin called Bitcoin Vault after I said to you, Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency. Since then, there is more than 8,000 cryptocurrencies. Any cryptocurrency that is not Bitcoin is referred to as an altcoin. So Bitcoin Vault is an altcoin which was launched in 2009, and it came to solve a particular problem. Just like all other cryptocurrencies that exist, they have come with a specific purpose. The purpose of Bitcoin Vault is to be a great store of value with extra security. So it is everything that Bitcoin is, except it's got additional security. We see this security in the form of you being able to reverse a transaction. That is huge. You don't have that in any other cryptocurrency. So if I was trying to send Bitcoin to Neo, for example, and I made a mistake, that's it. I can't recall that. Bitcoin Vault allows for that. If I'm sitting minding my own business, putting together this session for you guys, and I see from my smartphone a message goes, money's coming out in terms of my Bitcoin Vault, leaving my wallet, I can say, I did not do the transaction, and I can cancel the transaction. Bitcoin Vault allows that. No other cryptocurrency allows that. Why is that important? Because it means that the adoption of this coin, when people realize the security features and how valuable that is, may just skyrocket. Okay, then I introduced you guys another coin called Electric Cash. This one is going to be launched in February of 2021. Okay, Electric Cash now brings another spin to this space. Now, I can imagine myself having a lot of money, and then I say, I'm going to store my wealth in Bitcoin Vault because it is secure, it is my digital gold, it is my vault. I put my money in there. But then I'm thinking, oh, I had a problem with fiat currency because now the fees are too much. I mean, I know that I get so upset when I look at my bank statement, especially after I've been to a couple of shops and I swipe my Standard Bank card and I see fees. I wish I could just pay for something without those additional fees. That's where Electric Cash comes in. It is actual money, a transactional coin that I can take anywhere. I can actually leave South Africa, where I am now, and go to Dubai and just have my smartphone with my coins and just pay for coffee at the airport, no fees, because it's got reduced fees. And those reduced fees are built into their incentivized staking program. What is staking? Staking is the ability for you to store your coins for a certain period. And when you do that, they give you incentives for that. What are the incentives? The first one is that you are going to get more coins. Based on what you staked, you get more Electric Cash coins. It's like your fixed deposit, where we come from, where I am in South Africa. Some banks have got a product called your fixed deposit or your 32-day notice deposit. They encourage you to keep your money longer in the system, and they encourage you by giving you a preferential interest rates. So this staking program with Electric Cash does the same. You can store your coins for a certain period, and then you will be rewarded with additional coins. And part of the incentive as well in this staking program is that they give you what is called electric gas. And then this electric gas is what you would use to pay for your transaction fees, thus making them free. And then another beautiful thing about it, which a lot of cryptocurrencies don't have, is the fact that you get governing power. You get voting rights. It's like a democracy in the Electric Cash space. You get voting rights. Okay, so this means that if you don't like anything or they want to change something in their project, they consult you and you can say yay or nay. With other cryptocurrencies, you don't see that a lot. With other cryptocurrencies, if I don't like what the currency is doing, I'm most likely going to create my own coin because they're not going to be listening to me. So that is what I showed you in the 7 days as the cryptocurrencies, having gone through the basics. And I think that cryptocurrency is money. And the first one was Bitcoin. It is meant to be a transactional coin to allow us to be buying, sending, and doing whatever it is that you want to do with money. Whatever you can do with money, you can do with Bitcoin. It's meant to be like that. And it's got its own benefit of it being global and deflationary in character. Bitcoin Vault came with additional security. Electric Cash came and said, you know what? You can have free transactions when you transact with cryptocurrency. So that is the basics of the 3 coins that I think when you're starting your journey, you should have in your portfolio. Okay, and then I went on to tell you guys about the price of Bitcoin, and I want to touch on this quite a bit. So as I'm doing that, I'm actually going to also be writing on the screen. Okay, so we spoke about the value of Bitcoin. This is where the money is made. This is where people, when I said to you, early adopters have made money. I want you to see how this money was actually made, because this history tells a story. Okay, so the value of Bitcoin was almost nothing. I mean, it was launched in 2009. Yes, it had no value. 2010, we saw people starting to use Bitcoin to buy stuff. That's when it actually had value, because people started buying it from each other and selling it to each other. And we saw the value of 1 Bitcoin at some point in 2010 being 4 Rand. 4 Rand for 1 Bitcoin. So I want to give you an example as I go along this. So if 1 Bitcoin was 4 Rand, imagine in 2010, you took 400 Rand. 400 Rand. That would have given you 100 Bitcoins. BTC is Bitcoin. Okay, now imagine this. When I started working, I got an endowment policy that said that I can put away 100 Rands every month, and then it will mature in 30 years. Every year it went up by a certain percentage. It was supposed to be inflation linked. And I was excited. I was young, I was 20, and I'm thinking, wow, I was 21 actually. I am going to be so rich. They said I was going to get 100,000. Clearly, I did not understand inflation. They said I was going to get 100,000 in 30 years, and I was excited that I was going to have so much money, and I went for it. 30 years. Now, I want you to think about that, because I want you to understand the time period I was willing to wait. And I want you to see what happened in the cryptocurrency space in a very short space of time. Now, imagine your 400 Rands buying you 100 Bitcoins in 2010. Let's fast forward to 2013. At some point in 2013, 1 Bitcoin was 1,300. At some point, this date it was exactly on the 25th of December of 2013, 1 Bitcoin almost hit 10,000 Rands. Let's go back to our 100 coins. Remember, Maggie was willing to wait for how long? For 30 years. Surely she would have waited 3 years with her Bitcoin. Ne? So now imagine a Maggie still having her 300 Bitcoins in 2013. Now 1 Bitcoin hits 10,000 Rands. 10,000 Rands for 1 Bitcoin. How much are the 100 Bitcoins worth now? Do you see that? Do you see how many zeros there are? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. That means it's 1 million Rands. 1 million Rands in 3 years. I was willing to wait for 30 years for 100,000 Rands. That is what Bitcoin has done. Let's go on. Look at what happens in 2017. 1 Bitcoin becomes 300,000 Rands. Your 100 Bitcoins are suddenly worth. One is 300,000. Your 100 Bitcoins are suddenly worth 30 million Rands. That is how money is made. That's why we're saying early adopters, those who knew about and did something when it was still low, are now multimillionaires. It didn't end there. We saw the value drop. We saw people saying, they said it was a scam. They said it's a bubble. It's going to die. It's a currency. Saying Bitcoin is a scam is like saying the Rand is a scam. I don't dispute that people have lost money, because they got involved in certain programs where people, those who are out there to steal people's hard-earned money, created some sort of opportunity that it resulted in people losing money. I don't dispute that. I don't dispute that somebody bought Bitcoin at 300,000. And when they saw it dropping, they panicked and sold it. They lost money. But think about that person who did not sell their coins there, who still kept their 100 coins. Think about the person who decided to get more coins there when the value was low. When in 2021, the value of one Bitcoin vault went to, Bitcoin went to more than 600,000 rands. That one who kept 100 coins because they could wait 11 years. If Maggie was willing to wait 30 years, what is 11 years? Those who waited 11 years, suddenly, when the value of one Bitcoin hit 600,000, they've got 60 million. The power of cryptocurrency. Now someone says, Max, I feel like I have missed an opportunity with Bitcoin. You may have, okay? You may have. This is now the story of Bitcoin Vault, not Bitcoin, Bitcoin Vault. Now look at the story of Bitcoin Vault. It tells a story. Bitcoin Vault started in in December of 2019. I remember that when it was launched, it was actually $1. In rand terms at the time, I think the range of the dollar was like 17 or 18. Let's say 17. So it was like 17 rands for one coin. By March, it was almost 300 rands for one coin. By June, 3,000 rands for one coin. Imagine if again you had gotten yourself 100 coins of Bitcoin Vault when it was 17 rands, which means you would have spent 1,700 rands and got yourself 100 coins. Imagine now when in June, you got them in December of 2019. Now it's June of 2020. It's almost 3,000. Let's look at 3,000. Your 100 coins, when one coin is 3,000 rands, your 100 coins. Crazy. It's crazy. Now, it didn't stop there. The value went even higher. It went even higher. It went in August, it went there. This is a snapshot of all these amounts were on the 3rd of every month. But the highest that Bitcoin Vault actually reached, I think it was about 8,500 rands for one coin for Bitcoin Vault. Now imagine if you were still holding your 100 coins. When the value is now 8,500 for one coin, and you had 100 coins, you are now sitting at almost 1 million, more than 500,000. Now the value dropped. And this is a currency. It fluctuates. Bitcoin fluctuates. When it fluctuates, the fluctuations are huge. But listen to this. The value of Bitcoin, what I touched it in our training, this is driven by the market, not anybody else. Supply and demand. In any market where you've got more sellers than buyers at any point in time, the value drops. I can imagine when it was at its peak, where a lot of people who are early adopters have made a lot of money. I can imagine them now saying they are going to cash out. When I'm sitting at that point, I'm thinking, geez, I'm going to settle my debt. So I see those people who made a lot of money selling. I see that person who started at this point because they thought it was still going to go higher. When they start seeing it dropping because people are selling because they made money, I see them panic selling, saying, oh, I'm going to lose my money. They start selling. And more people sell, and then the value drops. But it's a market. As more people know about the currency, as more people have more faith in the currency, we are seeing the value drops, and then it's going to start going up again. The same we saw with Bitcoin. We saw it go from 300,000 to 61,000, at some point as low as 48,000. And suddenly, it took 3 years. It went up again to 650,000. That is how the stories of cryptocurrency are told. That is how people are becoming multimillionaires. You find an opportunity when the values are low, especially when coins are in their infancy. And then you collect as many as you can, and then you make it big. Right, so that is that. And then I told you about Oh, sorry, that's a repeat of the Bitcoin Vault story. Then I told you about electric cash. At the time of doing our training, when we did this training, there was no value to electric cash. It was still to be launched in Feb. I'm talking to you now, it is January, towards the end of Jan of 2021. So are you going to be part of this story? Think back to the people that believed in Bitcoin when it started, the ones that believed in Bitcoin Vault. You want to be part of this story. We don't know where this graph is going to go or how long it will take. But when it gets there, you want to have a whole lot of these coins because that is where money is made. Okay, so that is what we went through. So how do we get involved? We spoke about 3 ways to get money. To get these currencies, to get these coins. We call them digital assets. We said you can buy and hold. We said you can trade if you're a trader, or you can mine. What are the advantages of mining? I like using this story. Someone said to me, Megs, imagine in 2017, 1 Bitcoin was 17,000. Okay, imagine you go to stuff 17,000 and go to stuff 1 Bitcoin. 2021, the value of Bitcoin goes to 650,000 rands. You've made a lot of money. You decide, I am going to take care of my debt, blah, blah, blah. You go pay off your car, pay off your house, whatever you do, because you sold your Bitcoin and your Bitcoin is gone. The value of Bitcoin is not going to stop there. It's going to keep going up. But because you've sold your coin, it makes no difference to your life when it goes up. So the best place to be is in an opportunity, because we get into this so that we can live life out of this money. So you are going to be selling your coins, but you are best positioned if you are in an opportunity that allows you to keep accumulating, whether it's through mining or getting paid. You keep accumulating these digital assets. As you are using them, as they are leaving your wallet, more are coming in. That is the best place to be in. And that is where mining comes in. I mine with a company called Mining City. And then what happens is that they allow you to mine with them for 3 years, and they give you mining earnings every day, which means that every day you're getting fractions of the coin, and you keep accumulating and adding onto this digital asset. They actually mine Bitcoin, Bitcoin Vault, and they'll be mining electric cash as well. So for 3 years, 1,100 days, every single day, I get these coins coming in, right? As they come in, if I want to use them, I can withdraw them and sell them. But more, as long as my 3 years have not lapsed, more coins keep coming in. Do you see that? And the beautiful thing about Mining City as well, not only does it give me my mining earnings, it also gives me an opportunity to run my own business. There are those of you who are saying, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to raise money for this. I want an additional income. My money is not enough. Mining City gives you that opportunity as well. And that opportunity has seen people move from being, from earning 3-4 digits, that is in the thousands, to 5 digits, which means you're making more than 10,000 a month, to 5 digits where they're making, 6 digits where they're making more than 100,000 a month. We've seen people progress through this business in Mining City. So you get that opportunity as well. And add advantage of mining through Mining City. Remember, we are all in this session. I'm sure it's about how do we change our lives and make some money for ourselves. So these are the mining plans that Mining City offers. You can choose any one of them and start mining. If somebody who's in South Africa who's saying, I need these figures in rands, we can't give you an exact rate value because you are paying for these mining plans using cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or Bitcoin Vault. But I can give you an estimate based on today's price of Bitcoin. Based on today's price of Bitcoin, $300 would give you about 5,000 rands. So you need to put in 5,000 rands to start mining at that level. And then the first will be about 10,000 rands. Bronze is 20,000 rands. Silver is about 40,000 rands. And then the gold is actually a combination of your standard, your bronze, and your silver, which is about 70,000 rands at the moment. And then your platinum is about 210,000 rands. That is how much you are looking at when you decide to mine with Mining City. Okay, If you want more about this, you can engage with me and I'll let you know how to get started on that one. Okay, so to get started in the cryptocurrency space is as easy as 1, 2, 3. You open an exchange wallet. There's a couple of them. I personally use this one a lot, ChainX, and I use Luno a lot. Okay, you open an exchange wallet. You find that exchange wallet. Like Luno and ChainX, they allow you to do an EFT, an electronic funds transfer, into their bank account, and then they allocate that funds to your wallet. Once you've got that, you buy cryptocurrency. You buy your Bitcoin, you buy your Bitcoin vault, and that is how you are going to start your portfolio. Get yourself an exchange wallet. It is for free. You don't need to do anything else but open that wallet, activate it, and start your journey. You have seen that there is indeed money to be made in cryptocurrency. So now, I thank you so much, because that is all that we have covered in our 7 days. And if you want additional mentorship and coaching from me, I am available. You can send me a private WhatsApp message and let me know. In your message, give me a brief description of what you would like to get out of our mentorship so that we can design that for you accordingly. Then you'll be invited to join my exclusive Facebook group to extend and expand your cryptocurrency knowledge. And then we are going to get you started on your cryptocurrency profile. I'm looking forward to going this journey with you. Let me share some testimonials of people who have made this a business, by the way, who are not only mining, they started their journey with mining through Mining City. There's Fundo, who is a student at KZN. I love this young lady. She's only 26, you know, and she says when she started, it was just to mine because she wanted to, she says actually she was disappointed in her bank because what she had done, she had put money aside. And when she wanted to go get her money, suddenly it was less than what she had put in. And then she started looking for other ways of making money, and she stumbled into cryptocurrency. When she started and she realized that with Mining City, you can actually do a business as well. She said, you know what, as a student, it would be nice to be able to make additional money that I don't have to ask my parents for pocket money. She says to me, I interviewed her, by the way, and she said to me, you know what, Maggie, I only wanted to make 3,000 a month, and I was happy with that. And guess what? Fundo has managed to build and to furnish a house for her parents. Last year in 2020, she bought herself an Audi cash. When I said to her, so did you buy this Audi through WesBank? She said, what is WesBank? She wasn't being funny. Fundo is only 26. She does not know what it is like to buy a car using debt. She knows no vehicle and asset finance through any bank. That is the kind of generation we want to be bringing up. That is the legacy we want to leave for our kids of wealth, no, not debt. Now she's currently building herself a house. I asked her and I said, Fundo, when you started, you said your goal was 3,000 a month. What is your current goal? She says, Sis Mexico, I think I'm crazy. And I said, try me. And she said, 500,000 rands, 500,000 a month. And I said, you are crazy. She said, no. I'm about to make it. I know that next month, I'm going to make it. So when she introduces herself, she does now presentations and things like that. She says, I am a 6-digit earner, which means she earns more than 100,000 every month. But it is because she saw an opportunity in the cryptocurrency space to make a lot of money by doing the business. And if you want to know what the business is, we can talk about that as well. Tabiso, a military veteran from Pretoria. He said he was in so much debt. He moved from the South African National Defence Force to the police force, and then finally he found himself in the crypto space in so much debt. But now he says he's got mining plans that generate over 200,000 per month for him. Also interviewed him. And he did not get to this by putting in that much money. He started with that standard plan of 10,000 rands. And he's managed to raise enough money to create an income for himself of 200,000 every month. You can also do it. Phoebe, oh, I love Phoebe. Phoebe says to me, Max, I want to retire at 50. Do you know what that means? It means that at 50, she says she does not need to work anymore. Not that she's going to be standing in the queue as SASSA, no. What she means is that she is going to be making enough money every month without doing much work, but be able to maintain the lifestyle that she has. What lifestyle is that? I love what she says to me, which is, you know, Max, when my son was turning 21, instead of a party, he said he wanted to go to Thailand with his friends. And I managed to take them there without a credit card, cash. She says, my son wants to go study overseas. I don't stress because I know I can afford to pay for it. She says, I could not afford to do those things while I was still looking at my job, but this additional income stream has allowed that for me. It can do the same for you. So Les Brown says, it's up to you. Every passing moment is another chance for you to turn it all around. Cryptocurrency can do that for you if you allow it, if you see it, if you embrace it. Thank you so much for attending my training. I hope you got all the value you wanted. There is a lot in this space. Cryptocurrency is a broad subject. It's a technical subject. I try to simplify it as much as I can. And thank you so much. Those are my phone numbers if you want to get hold of me, and let's continue this discussion and let this not be the end for us. Thank you so much. Be blessed.